Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and it's time. It is our second last, our penultimate Champions League preview video as Celtic head to Rome to take on Lazio. I was about to say Napoli, that's not right. Take on Lazio in the Champions League. Can we extract some revenge for that late 90th minute winner at Celtic Park a month or so ago? I'm not too optimistic, but we'll try. If you haven't already, make sure to hit like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. A bit of a later one today. It's been a hectic day trying to get things together. So yeah, I'm going to kind of rush this one together. And we know where we stand moving into this game. You know, this is it for Celtic. It's now or never. We need to win this game to present any opportunity or hope for us to progress to European football after Christmas. Which is weird because I feel like we've said that in every one of these preview shows for the last 3 or 4 match days. You know, Lazio at home was a must-win. Atletico at home was a must-win. Atletico away was a must-win. Somehow, we are hanging on by a thread to the smallest glimmer of hope that we could perhaps be in European football after Christmas. But it takes a tall task, doesn't it? There's a lot of hard work to do if that is the aim for Celtic. We need to win tomorrow night. We need to beat Feyenoord at Celtic Park on the 13th of December. There's a lot of work to do. So yeah, not ideal. A lot of pressure. But is it the best opportunity we have against the two sides we're about to play? You could argue it. We'll talk about that. If Celtic do pull off the miracle and somehow make it to European football after Christmas and win these next 2 games, I'll be gutted that I wasn't there in Rome for it. I was meant to be there. You might be wondering that I said this in the channel ages ago. I'll be at Rome, I'll be at Madrid, and here I am, sitting in the loft. Should be somewhere in Rome just now, having a pizza. No, I'm here. So the ticket situation was just nonsense. You know, I wasn't getting. You'll save my money. I'm away to Tenerife in a few weeks. I'll say a few weeks next week, so I'll save my money. But a bit gutting that I'm not there. However, I'll cheer on the team from home. We'll get the job done, hopefully. But let's talk about the factors that come into consideration in this game. Celtic don't exactly go into this game in the highest of spirits after the Motherwell game at the weekend. The 1-1 draw at Celtic Park to take over to that Stadio Olimpico in Rome, a place that we have a nice relationship with, you could say. The last time we were there, of course, that 2-1 win back in November of 2019. Olivier Ntcham scored that last gasp winner, which, you know, made that group such a memorable one for us in the Europa League. And a completely different situation going over this time round tomorrow night in that earlier kick-off. We need to win. It's a must-win game for Celtic. Brendan Rodgers knows it's a must-win game for Celtic. But how do you navigate that? How do you attack that game? You know that Lazio are going to try their best to get a result and give themselves the best opportunity to progress to the Champions League last 16. Both teams have a lot to play for in this game. It's massive. So it really makes it a kind of wide-open scenario. I don't really know what to anticipate or expect from the opposition. What I do know is Celtic have to have a right good go of it. The problem with that being the situation we find ourselves going into this game. Celtic, let's be real, cards on the table, are not best equipped for this game tomorrow. Dyson Maeda, injured/suspended. Liel Abada, injured. Luis Palma, suspended. You could argue it's the 3 best wingers at the club, but actually, you can't argue it. It is facts. The 3 best wingers at the club, all out, such an integral part of how we play our football, and none of them will be involved in any capacity tomorrow night in Rome. Which means that realistically, James Forrest will be once again like he was in 2019, starting at the Stadio Olimpico, and Yang will be accompanying him. I can't even speak. Let's just go with joining him, right? I don't want to even try it a 3rd time. He'll be joining him on the other wing. Realistically, that's what I think the wingers are going to be tomorrow. And if you told me at any stage in this Champions League campaign that we had to start a game with Yang and Forrest on the wings, I wouldn't have reacted too well. Just like I'm not reacting well to it now. Listen, it's no disrespect to the players themselves. Yang is someone who showed promise at times in his very short Celtic career. James Forrest is James Forrest. You know, there's so much to talk about in regard to both of those players, but let's be real, I don't even think the 2 of them would have expected to be in this situation heading to Rome tomorrow. There is a couple other options that Celtic could go with. They could maybe try 2 up front. They could maybe put Kyogo out wide on one side. There is a couple of things that Brendan Rodgers could do to experiment, but if you're just going off probability, then I think that, you know, that could be the combination of wingers we're going to see tomorrow. it's not our strongest side. Celtic have had to kind of hobble their way through this group with injuries, which has been annoying. Listen, it's no excuse. We've not performed well enough. We haven't picked up the points where we need to pick them up. There is no excuse. You can't just use injuries as an excuse for that. But we have had to kind of, you know, sometimes put out makeshift areas in that squad and hobble our way through. It's just so frustrating knowing tomorrow in a game where Celtic need goals, they need to win, that the guys who are scoring goals for us on a regular basis aren't there. You know, we've got Kyogo, great. We've got Matt O'Reilly, great. But we haven't got players like Maida who come up trumps in situations using his pace. Abada, whose goal contributions are massive to this side. And Palma, who has been one of the best players so far for us this season. Not having him does have a direct impact on our chances of scoring goals tomorrow. So you have to make up for that. You probably need to alter the style of play. I would like to maybe see us go through the middle a bit more tomorrow. Obviously, Lazio might meet that with a 5 at the back, which makes it a little bit harder if you've got those three centre-halves congesting the area. But use the quality where it's there. You know, use, you know, Matt O'Reilly, use Kyogo, use Callum McGregor. You've got quality through the middle, and if it's our best chances of scoring a goal, maybe go for it. We are so used to Celtic exploiting the wings and using our pace on each side, but let's be real, Forest hasn't got bags of it anymore. We know what Forest is like trying to take on a man. Is that going to be a direct way of trying to score a goal tomorrow night? I don't know. I have my doubts. So, yeah, we don't head into the game in the best predicament. Which is very frustrating, and that's why I think there is a sense of realism that hangs over my head moving into this game. Is, you know me, I like to be as optimistic as I can, as upbeat, as laid back as I can be. But when you saw how much we struggled to score at the weekend, and then you take into the account that we won't have Luis Palma, who we did have at the weekend, against a much better side than Motherwell, then yeah, things get a little bit concerning for me. If you want to flip that though, and you do want to look at things optimistically and look at it glass half full, is we played really well against Lazio in the first game. I know the result didn't go our way. We lost in the most devastating of manners to that 90th minute Pedro header. But through the game, we played some good stuff. We should have had more. Luis Palma obviously had a goal chopped off with about 10 minutes to go as well. We should have had more goals. We weren't ruthless enough on the night, and that's one of the lessons that we haven't learned yet in Europe, is to be ruthless on the night. You know, we need to take our chances better. We've done a better job against Atletico at Celtic Park. We then seen how Atletico went in Madrid. But there was plenty of positives from that Lazio performance. And Lazio aren't a great side at the minute. So, you know, for as much as we can be a bit pessimistic going into this game, Lazio in their own right will be pessimistic going into this game, because they've watched their side struggle at Celtic Park. They've watched their side struggle domestically. That isn't a team that's high in confidence in a minute. So if you start the game well and you ask the questions early on, get them on the ropes. But that's the impact that you need to make quickly in the game. You can't linger, you can't wait. I don't want to see Celtic sitting back and waiting for chances. I think we just need to go for it, in my opinion. It's the best chance of getting them on the ropes and getting them a little bit rocky, because that's what teams have been doing to them all season in Serie A. So we need to do it here. Let's talk about the opposition very quickly then, shall we? They have not been having the best time of it recently. You go back and look at their fixtures. Here they are on screen. They lost at the weekend to Salernitana away from home. They drew with Roma in the derby. They beat Feyenoord, which was a good result for them, of course, in the Champions League. And then they lost to Bologna right before that as well. So in their last 4 games, they've only won 1. It was in the Champions League. The league table, they're sitting 11th, 5 wins, 2 draws, 6 losses. They're not best in their best moments just now, Lazio. They're not having the best time of it. They're struggling. They showed, you know, signs of that at Celtic Park. So there is weaknesses there to exploit. As I said, get into them early and put the fear in them, you know? That's the best way to go about things. And, you know, I remember back in 2019, it's a completely different ball field now, isn't it? Because, ballpark now, I should say. You know, back then it wasn't Sarri, it was in charge. It was a different squad. I'm not comparing their 2019 side to their side now. But that night, Lazio got the better of us early on, and then they kind of sat back a little bit. They should have had more from the game. They were all over us that night, let's be real. But we waited, and then Forrest got the goal, and then, of course, 90th minute, and Cham got the goal. But, you know, I remember when they scored that early goal that night, sitting in the stands thinking, oh, this could be a long night. And I don't know if Celtic, with the position we're in right now, with injuries and squad depth, etc., I don't think that we're in a position now where we could come back from that, like we did in 2019. In 2019, we went down 1-0 and you're thinking, okay, it could be a long night. And then what a response. The best response you could possibly get. Going on and winning the bloody game, you know. I don't know if we've got the depth and the players ready at the moment to try and do that again should an early goal be conceded. So we need to be careful, but go for it. Go for it, get the goals. Our only hope is by winning. Drawing doesn't do anything for us, so yeah. On screen is the list of injuries that they've racked up over the last couple of games. Nothing too severe for them. A couple of recognisable names, of course. Alessio Romagnoli in there. He's been out for the past week or so. No expected return date yet. So these are all kind of recent injuries cropped up since the last time we played Lazio. Helpful for us in terms of their depth, I suppose. And Vicino will miss the game as well due to a yellow card suspension. So a couple of players missing for Lazio. Nothing of great significance, I would say, though. And still a difficult challenge ahead for Celtic. Right, score prediction. Sorry, not score predictions. Team predictions. I don't even think I'm going to bother with score predictions today. What's the point? You know, what is the point? But team predictions. I'm going to put it on screen. This is what I think it will be. Hart, of course, in goals. Has to be our strongest back four at the minute, which still contains Liam Scales. Of course, he's the man, I suppose, isn't he? So yeah, that's the back four. Midfield three. That's where a question comes up again. And I don't know what to really say about it, because I don't think there's been enough displayed to suggest a strong case for it, but I am going Paulo Bernardo against Atletico. For as bad as we were, the statistics proved that he was probably our best player in the park for pressing the opposition and off the ball movement and such, so I'm going for Bernardo again, to be honest. I just think that, you know, he's probably a better option than Holm for what we need in the middle area. So I'm going Bernardo, McGregor and O'Reilly for the midfield three. And then front three, we've spoke about it. I don't know what direction this is going to go in. Is it as predictable as Yang and Forrest on the wings? Is it? It could be Mikey Johnson. It could be. It could be two up top, as I said. It could be anything. But I'm going to go with Yang, Forrest and Kyogo, which, wow. Wow. It's a bit demotivating, isn't it? It gets you kind of... The positivity leaves your body very suddenly, to be fair. I feel bad saying it, because I have nothing against him personally or anything like that. Just, yeah, not great. I'm not even going to bother jinxing it enough. I don't even want... I want, when the first whistle goes tomorrow, when kick-off looms, I just want to feel a sense of optimism going into the game. You know, I just want us to feel like we can wait for something to happen, and we can have something that goes our way. I just don't want to completely drain myself of all optimism. So I'm not going to bother jinxing anything. Tomorrow, when the first ball is kicked, I was saying 3-0 Celtic, and let's hope it stays like that. I don't know. Right, anyway, if you've enjoyed, like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and all that jazz. Sorry it's been kind of rushed and put together and such. It's been, as I said, a hectic day thus far. So thank you all. We'll be back on the channel tomorrow for the match reaction. I might even do a live stream as well, reacting to the team announcements. I've not done one of them since, I think, the Feyenoord game. So we might bring that back tomorrow as well and have a bit of a pre-match discussion. But until then, thank you. Enjoy your night. And yeah, God bless. Hail, hail. See you next time.